Sonam Raghuvanshi, accused of orchestrating her husband Raja Raghuvanshi's murder, has been brought to Shillong by the Meghalaya police. This is after surrendering to authorities in Uttar Pradesh's Ghazipur. In fact, I can inform our viewers that Sonam's medical test has been conducted. Saurabh Gupta has been tracking all the finer details for us. He joins us live with a quick update at this point. Saurabh, we're given to understand that Sonam will be produced in court today, where cops are expected to seek police remand.
That's right. The police remand is, of course, something that they will require for taking the investigation further. But what line of investigation are they pursuing? Well, one of the critical things that still remains to be found is the phone, the mobile phone that Sonam Raghuvanshi was using. Because that would provide critical clues as to who she was in touch with, who she was in contact with, and who was she speaking to while all of this was happening. And that would give the police some really critical evidence that they require to build their case against Sonam Raghuvanshi. Now, she's, of course, come here after a journey from Patna, from Ghazipur, to an overnight journey to Patna, and then, of course, from there all the way to Calcutta, and then from Calcutta a flight to Guwahati. But she's now currently housed at the Sadar police station in Shillong. She's expected to be produced in court this morning itself, so that the other parts of this, the entire sort of investigation can move forward. And the police are focusing on several unanswered questions. Even last night, NDTV raised those questions as far as what are these unanswered questions. And clearly, one of the things is the motive. The motive is also something that the police would be looking at. But what they say in the remand is also quite going to be quite sort of important, because in the remand, one does get a basic sense of the kind of case or the kind of line of investigation that the police are taking, because the remand seeks custody to carry out investigation. So that's something that the police will be looking at this morning.
As always, Saurabh, thanks so much for joining us with that update. Do stay on with us as I brief our viewers about the latest developments coming in. In fact, while Saurabh is reporting about the medical test being conducted, what's expected today, Sonam Raghuvanshi is in Shillong. She was brought by the Meghalaya police, but sinister details have emerged. So Sonam Raghuvanshi had offered 4 lakh rupees to the hired killers to murder her husband. Sources have informed NDTV, adding that she later raised that amount to 20 lakh rupees. According to top police sources, Sonam helped the other accused in pushing her husband's body into a gorge in Meghalaya. In fact, we have a reaction from Raja Raghuvanshi's brother, Vipin Raghuvanshi. Listen in to what he informed us.
देखिए, परिवार इसमें इन्वॉल्व इसके लिए लग रहा है मुझे है, और है भी इसमें इन्वॉल्व, क्योंकि सोनम ने उसकी मम्मी से पहले कह चुकी थी कि मम्मी मुझे किसी और से प्यार है, मैं शादी उसी से करूँगी। मैं उसकी माँ ने कहा था बेटा नहीं, तो समाज में है, समाज में शादी करें, तो पापा मानेंगे नहीं इस बारे में, तो समाज में शादी होगी तेरी। उसने कहा मम्मी ठीक है, शादी तुम कर लोगी और तुम जिससे तुम शादी कराओगी मेरी, देखना उसके साथ मैं क्या करती हूँ अब आगे, उसका अंजाम तुम सब लोग भुगतोगे।
Right, Saurabh, we've just heard from Raja Raghuvanshi's brother as well. In fact, there is also an update regarding this 4 lakh and 20 lakh discrepancy. Has the Meghalaya police officially confirmed that Sonam Raghuvanshi raised the murder amount from 4 lakh to 20 lakh mid-execution?
These are questions that the police are investigating. They're not saying anything on record as of now, but they clearly are looking at Sonam Raghuvanshi's role. And we heard the brother, and his comment is quite important. I mean, he clearly pins the blame, at least as far as the statement is concerned, that he believes is attributed to Sonam Raghuvanshi. So in that context, obviously, these are questions that the police are looking at. The police in Meghalaya have no doubt that Sonam Raghuvanshi is one of the key conspirators. Now, how much she paid the contract killers is something that they're investigating. They will need to acquire evidence. That is why, like I mentioned, they're looking at that phone she had. That phone is going to provide some critical evidence once they can find it, if it's not been destroyed, and if the data on the phone is still available. But they clearly know that she was in touch with these contract killers. They also have CCTV footage that establishes her with the contract killers. So these are critical pieces of evidence that they're still putting together. They're building a case. It's not quite there yet. There are still some unanswered questions which investigations will answer, which is why they will seek a remand. And like I said, that's where the remand application is going to be interesting to read the remand application, because that's where we will know what line of investigation the police are taking, what is the angle they're investigating, what all they need to recover, what all they need to do further in the investigation, because there is a set time frame that they will have her custody for. So that is something that they will have to complete in that time period. So this is why the remand hearing is also important today. That's the first time the police present her in court and tell a court, obviously when they take transit remand, they say she's been arrested in so-and-so case,
Yes.
she needs to be taken to so-and-so police station, so please give us transit remand. There is no mention of the details of the case. But when you seek a proper remand before a court, you have to tell the court why this person is important to your case, what you think her role is, and why she needs to be investigated, and why you need her custody. So these are questions that one gets to know from the remand application that the police are going to present in court during the remand hearing today.
Saurabh, as always, thanks so much for joining us with the lowdown. Many unanswered questions at this point. We are, of course, waiting for clarity from officials. Meanwhile, our sources have informed us that right after the murder, Sonam Raghuvanshi left Meghalaya for Indore, where she met Raj Kushwaha, the sources have added. After staying in a rented room in Indore, she travelled to Uttar Pradesh with a hired driver. We, in fact, have a reaction from the East Khasi Hills police officials. Listen in.
They came up together, okay, and in fact they had met in one scenic spot out there where they had met together, and then they walked up. And after they walked up, then their scooties were there, and it is, according to the assailants, it was Sonam who took them to Shilong, and that's where the fight took place.